This female pilot had just completed her aid mission in Africa and was preparing to head back home. At that moment, no one knew that a disaster was lurking for them. The flight attendant closed the cabin door, and the plane sped down the runway, roaring into the sky before flying steadily above the clouds. Suddenly, the pilot felt the urge to use the restroom. She briefed her young co-pilot and hurried off. Just then, a wisp of smoke drifted past the window, and the woman detected a pungent smell in the air. The co-pilot in the cockpit also smelled the strange odor, but seeing that all the instruments showed everything was normal, he didn't pay much attention to it. At that very instant, the plane flew over a volcano. The erupting heat wave made the plane shake violently. Chaos broke out inside the cabin, and the young co-pilot was at a loss. Burning volcanic ash entered through the propellers. Under the intense impact, both wing engines were damaged simultaneously. The plane went completely out of control and headed straight towards the volcano. At the critical moment, the pilot rushed back to the cockpit, but a violent jolt made her head hit the dashboard, and she passed out. The out-of-control plane plummeted rapidly. Panic engulfed the cabin. Seeing this, the woman immediately asked the flight attendant to contact the pilot. According to the rules, she didn't have the authority to enter the cockpit. However, the pilot was already unconscious. Between the hundreds of lives and the regulations, the woman made her choice. She burst into the cockpit and forcefully took over the control of the plane. By then, the plane was filled with the pungent smell. Everyone put on gas masks, but the woman ignored her own well-being. She contacted the control tower to request an emergency landing while operating the plane. With the woman's skilled maneuvers, one engine finally restarted. The plane stopped falling. Suddenly, a ray of sunlight shone through the glass, illuminating the woman's determined eyes. The plane successfully broke through the volcanic smoke and regained stability. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief, but what they didn't know was that the plane was still in crisis. It was extremely difficult to land with only one engine. The woman contacted the control tower, requesting to take over the plane's control and applying for an emergency landing. Under the guidance of the flight attendants, all the passengers fastened their seatbelts. The plane roared towards the airport, and the ground crew also mobilized fully. At that moment, the woman decisively pulled the control lever. Despite the violent jolts, the plane slowly came to a stop on the runway. The danger was completely over. Thunderous cheers erupted inside the cabin. When the emergency medical personnel were ready to assist the injured, they found that only the pilot was hurt. At that moment, the woman finally relaxed.